Hello, team. Hi, team. So we are here with another episode of the Madison and Mountain View. Today, I am working from a coffee shop that has the background music of a club. So I am actually going to pass it over to Chris, who's going to lead our hangout with our special guest, Arjun, who is founder and CEO of Canvs. So we're going to discuss the future of productivity and tech in the workplace.
So, as you mentioned, we have Arjun Rai here, and
hello there.
Arjun, why don't you first tell us a little bit about Canvs, and then talk about why it is that you sort of built the product, and how it is that you see it affecting the workplace, and then we can talk about other tools and other things like that.
Sure. So, for those everyone knows my name, it's Arjun, like Argentina, but no Tina. That's my first elevator pitch for my name. So as far as the company is concerned, or Canvs, just to lay the groundwork, the idea behind Canvs is basically to allow visual and creative people to be able to function in the enterprises or the work in their work environments in a more visual and creative way as well. So the inspiration came from using linearly designed tools by engineers for engineers, and what ended up happening was creative people or the visual people in the workspace, they all just ended up using paper just to map out their entire thinking process or their entire mind essentially in terms of how ideas flow. And so I basically said, what if you can actually drag those ideas, those people you want to work with, or files you want to share in a very visual way. So the way I like to see it in the workplace is kind of like Minority Report. If you and I want to work on a project, if you really are excited about a project and you want to collaborate, we should bring that to the table with the tools that we use and the technologies we use. A lot of us get really excited about Apple products and about Apple software because it's so beautifully designed. But the enterprise software, if you take a look at a lot of companies, they don't put aesthetics into it.
Why do you think that is, actually? Because so in particular, that's something that's always bothered me.
Yeah.
Is that we have this love, right, that we demonstrate for Apple products and for well-designed products, and yet we still have companies out there who don't take design into consideration when it is they make a product. And I don't understand that. I'm wondering if you have some insights on that.
And that's why Canvs is there. we're gonna blow everyone away because of that. If you think about it, if you put Canvs outside for a second, and if you think about thermostat industry, home automation, or just the gadgets you find in your house, the thermostat has been this clunky little box for the longest time, right? And then Nest came along and made it such a beautiful device that you would be willing to pay $249 or $300, whatever, hundreds of dollars for this beautiful piece of art, just to have it on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every so often the Teslas, the Method detergents, and these companies come along, which say let's not go to museums and look at art and bring the art into our environment and make it also tech savvy and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I think Canvs is trying to do that for SaaS, software in general.
So are there other products that you sort of see having the same disruptive effect within the office space? Not just sort of digital whiteboarding, but productivity or communication tools that have that same ability to sort of change where it is that the office is going?
Have you heard of the likes of Leap Motion or Maya by Thalmic Labs? These are some companies which I think are very early in gesture technology. There's also another one I can't remember. It's basically a smaller ring you put around your finger. It also helps you control. So as far as the gestures are concerned, I think gesture is very new. Some of the new announcements Windows did or Microsoft did for Windows, such as the HoloLens, I think it's going to revolutionize the workspace as well as the home itself. If you can imagine having having different people come into your workspace without being there, just having a holographic image of them, I think that's kind of like Star Wars. If you remember the Senate meeting, a lot of the senators weren't actually in the room itself. And I think we're heading into that future where you can have collaborative meetings in a very futuristic way.
So this is something that actually brings up a point that I've been curious about for a long time, which is this trend towards the mobile office, right, that we've seen over the last 10 years and a little bit beyond that. One of the things that we assume is that these tools that we're using right now, the Skypes and the Hangouts of the world, that they have the ability to fundamentally shift how it is that we work. But and this is not just for Arjun, it's a question for everybody. But how do we see the sort of changing workplace? How do we sort of maintain what's very important to us as human beings, which is that direct physical connection, right? Whereas, I sense your guys' emotions and thoughts in a way that is more concrete, more real than I can with people who are just on the screen. How do you think that we'll ever have the ability to overcome that barrier? And this is a question for everybody, because that's something that's still very that's a very real barrier to me.
I mean, if you think about the olden days when the post office was like this radical new system where we could send a mail to someone across the country and get it there in weeks. That was such a radical system, and that allowed people to become closer. So if you lived in New York and you want to send something in California, you could do that, hopefully. So that was the system back then. Now, after the internet, you could email people from New York to California within seconds.
But the way that you email people, that type of communication is different than the type of communication we have right here.
I know. So what I was going to say is that writing became more personal, became faster over time. Right now, what we're looking at is Google Hangout. If you remember GoToMeeting in the early 2000s, it was really bad. Any video conferencing tool back then was really bad, and people would fly, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles to go to meetings. Today, this is a little bit better. It's obviously free. It's the technology behind it. It's not laggy. It's not any of that. Join Me is a company which is making meetings really easy. You just download it and you're done. And so I think the next thing that we're looking to get into is there are companies that are doing psychology analysis, so facial recognitions to tell you emotions. And as more and more holographic technology becomes, better, you'd be able to see the same facial expressions as you are in real person, as when you're calling in from another computer. But I think that's that technology.
I would just add, I think being part of a distributed workforce, or at least part of a company at Evolution where we allow employees to kind of come and go freely, I think being part of a distributed workforce means that when you're together, your productivity is actually higher. So I find that when I'm not with my team 8 hours a day, the time I am face-to-face with them, I think we work harder and we're more productive together because that time is more meaningful. And we're just not kind of used to having each other. We also respect the time that we have in the office together a bit more. So if you're kind of day, you tend to push meetings back. Well, all right, I'll wait till you're off that call. Well, let's go get coffee instead. Whereas when we come into the office and we only have 3 hours together, we respect those 3-hour windows and we are extra productive. And I also think a lot of the technologies and tools that are helping to bridge that. So you have items that are helping you, like Blurt, which is a technology that allows you to film what you're actually working on, turn it into a kilobyte-sized file, and send it to someone so they can see the edits that you made with your own voiceover. And then tools like that are helping you kind of work better, faster, more productive when you're not with each other. And then you come to the office and you can kind of pick up where you left off with those tools and things like what Canvs is working on. You kind of start something one place, then you come together, you throw it up on a screen, you continue that kind of stream of work and productivity. And so I think the technology is making it feel a lot more seamless as you transition from not being together to being together and helping you be more productive when you are face-to-face.
I guess there's another thing that we've been sort of looking at for a couple of projects that we're working on, and that is about measurement of sort of activity within a physical space. I'm curious to know if we think that that's going to change work in a similar way. If it's going to be as powerful to know, all right, how many people are in the conference room? how often are people like utilizing their office space? Is that something that we think has the ability to change work in the same sort of way?
I think that's really important, especially for co-working space, to know when the uptake is happening, or especially from home automation or even office automation, if you will, controlling temperature, controlling lighting, controlling electricity, boiler. I mean, we're at a point where we can make our living environments as well as our working environments so smart that we shouldn't be spending hundreds of millions of dollars every year in wasted electricity and energy itself. So that's one effect. The other effect is if you know exactly when your people are coming in and where they are, if you have a global company, you can allocate your resources more efficiently. You don't have to say X amount goes into marketing in North America, X goes into South America because the CMO says so, or because the CMO thinks so. You actually have granular data backing it. Maybe North America needs more people, more resources, because the people in that country can come into the office more, whereas South America, maybe they are more remote and they work from home and whatnot. So they don't need to spend. There's a lot of, that actually allows for that.
And we know a awesome startup called Comfy, and they're letting you control the HVAC system and your own AC or heat in the room that you're in. And what I love about their product is they say their kind of vision is humans are better thermostats than thermostats. So, why not crowdsource and have employees and tenants and occupants of physical spaces and offices be the temperature controls and, respond and tell the building, this is, I feel cold, I feel hot, versus, some thing on the wall or some guy who's manning the controls from, the basement. Yeah. And so I think, as you said, lighting, even the way that technology is improving health in the office. So there are chairs that are telling people that they're sitting too long, or employees being able to tell the office that, I need more light and I need more movement. I think the way that communication is taking place between the physical objects in a space and the people in that space are changing the entire environment. And then, of course, Chris, as you said, the analytics are being able to measure all that and give that back to the companies, which not only can help the office managers create a better working environment, but think about being able to send that data to insurance companies. And you'll actually get a better insurance policy for your office if you can prove that you've got people walking around more and not sitting in their chairs. So I just love, everyone should check out Comfy, but the idea that humans are better thermostats than thermostats, I think is really obvious and smart.
If you think about Tesla and their latest software update, it made the car a lot faster, but it's just not that. It tells you the temperature, it tells you so many analytics. For the company, they know exactly where their customers are, essentially, the privacy controls. They know exactly where to allocate their resources, and that's on a macro level. One thing I want to say, Gina, your comment reminded me of Beauty and the Beast. Do you remember where the clock and the couch and everything literally came alive, essentially, in the movie?
Lumiere, Clocksworth. I don't know.
Beauty. God, she doesn't remember that at all.
I'm feeling like we're getting into a future where we have the clock, we have the magical rug and the magical couch. Essentially,
let's not give Disney any ideas about what they should be going after in terms of patents
in the
IoT
cool.
world.
That'd be so cool. They came up with the idea.
Don't tell them that.
Okay, fine. The magical world of Disney.
All right, I think.
Wait, cars. Cars is not real.
Okay, now essentially Disney owns everything IoT. Good job, Arjun.
So before we. So before we wrap it up, does anybody have one final question for Arjun? All right. Well, thanks so much, Arjun, for joining us. It was great to have you here, and please join us next week on the Madison and Mountain View.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.